guys, so first thing you want to do is get a bowl or something and get lukewarm water, 1/3 cup of lukewarm water. And then we're going to take 1 pack of our active dry yeast. I use the Red Star, you could use whatever. So I think in here it's about 2.5 tablespoons of yeast if you're using like a jar or anything, but I just use 1 packet of this. So you want to take that, you want to pour it in the water. Make sure you get everything in there. And then you want to get 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Put that in there. And then you just want to mix it up. So now you want to leave this for like maybe 20 to 25 minutes. You want to, when you come back, you want to see like a froth on the top. If you don't see that froth on the top, you cannot move forward with this recipe because you want your cinnamon buns to be extra fluffy, and that's what's going to make it extra fluffy. So we're going to leave this to sit for 20 to 25 minutes. I'll be back to show you what I'm talking about. And yeah, be back in a sec.
A few minutes later.
Alright guys, we're back. So as you can see, it went up a lot. And then as you can see up top, it's all like foamy. So that's what you want, because that's what's going to make our cinnamon buns really fluffy and yummy. So you're just going to take that and empty it into a really big bowl. And then to that bowl, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of whole milk, and I'll put all the measurements in the description if I do forget to say something. You're going to add your butter. This is about 6 tablespoons of butter. Add that. Add eggs. This is 2 eggs beaten. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil, canola oil. So that's 2 tablespoons of oil. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And you want to use real vanilla extract, not like the imitation vanilla. Now we're going to mix it all together. And a teaspoon of baking powder. Now for the flour, you could use all-purpose flour, or me, I like to use breaded flour. I just find like the breaded flour gives it like a little bit of a fluffier texture. So I use that because we fancy over here, child. Just kidding. So now for the flour, it's a little tricky. Sometimes it's like 4 cups. Sometimes it might be a little bit more than 4 cups. It all depends on the consistency of your dough. So I usually start off by like adding 1 cup first and then working my way up from there and then see if I need to add or subtract. So let's add that first cup and then you just want to blend. Right. I'm going to add my second cup. So we're going to add our third cup. So that's our third cup. Alright, so at that point it starts getting messy, so I like to start working with my spatula. And then this is going to basically be doing a fold over. Let me get this out of you guys' way. There you go. I'm going to be doing a fold over method. So there's only 3 cups of flour in here so far. But as you can see, it's still sticky. Now we want it sticky, but we want it like pulling away from the bowl easily. So now for the fourth cup, I'm not just gonna dump everything in there. I'm gonna go like little by little. So I'm gonna start sprinkling a little bit in there, and then working that into the dough. So you see my stuff. So you see my dough is starting to pull away easily from the sides. So I'm not even sure I'm gonna need the whole 4 cups of flour. Just a tiny bit more flour. Just a tiny bit more flour. Yo, my arms is hurting. This is like when you, for all my Africans out there, you know, when we're trying to mix our fufu and you working that fufu dough. That's kind of how this is. I have left in the cup, so yeah, so maybe like 3.5, 3 1/3. So I'll put this back in the bag. You're gonna grab another bowl that you've oiled up. You could use butter. I put a little bit of oil in there and rubbed it over the sides. So you can get that new bowl now. Put it down. You're gonna grab your dough mixture and just put it in there. Put it in that bowl. And now it's nice and tight. Then you're gonna get a clear plastic wrap, and we're gonna wrap this dough up for it to rise. So you wrap it nice and tight, and then you should get like a wool kitchen towel, and I put it over it. And now, if it's summer, you could put this in your garage and let it sit for 1.5 to 2 hours, or just any warm place in your house. Maybe like your laundry room if you're doing laundry, set over the dryer, or you could put it in your oven and pull a pot on the stove with water to boil. You just want it somewhere warm. So I'll be back in about an hour and a half to see where we are. Okay.
1 eternity later.
Alright guys, so it's been about an hour and a half. Like I said, you could let it go up to 2 hours if you want. This is how it's looking. So now all you want to do is like punch it. So think about someone you're mad at and take your anger out on this thing. So you're going to punch it, get out all that air. So we're just punching it. This is your face. I'm punching you in the face. Alright, at this point you want to make sure, like I said, your countertop is clean. Mine is. So we're just going to get some flour and sprinkle it down. Then you want to grab your dough. Look how nice it just comes out of the pan. Flap it down. So your dough's down. You just want to like knead it a little bit. After you're done kneading it for about a minute or so, if you don't have any flour left, you want to get a little bit of flour. Sprinkle it back. And then if you have a rolling pin, you grab a rolling pin, or you could use your hands. You just want to laugh at me. This man sat here and watched me struggle. Okay, so when you have your shape, you want to warm up a cup of butter and just brush the butter on. And don't be shy with the butter, guys. Okay, so once you have your butter on, you're gonna have some left. Save it. So then in like a separate bowl, you're gonna mix 1 cup of brown sugar with 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Okay. I'm just gonna mix it. Alright, so once you have it all mixed up, you're just gonna take it and sprinkle it on. Sprinkle it on all over. Alright, we're not done yet. So remember that extra butter that you have left over? We're just gonna spill it. Yeah. Just pour it out. Okay. Just little chunks, but it'll all melt. So now we're going to roll it. All right. Now when you're rolling it, you want to be careful. And you're going to roll it towards you. So start with the end. Ooh. So you want to like roll and tuck. If that makes sense. Rolling and you're tucking. And some of the stuff's gonna ooze out, but that's okay. All right, so next you wanna get your baking dish and then you just wanna butter it, okay? And we're gonna put that right there. All right, so you have your roll. Oh, go away. Go away. Yeah, I set that in the side. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, but yeah, so you just want to start cutting as like thick as you want them. So that's one. So you see that's my first one. So you put it in here. Number two. Look how pretty they look. But so when you have it all like that, guess what we gotta do again? We gotta cover them back up for this thing to rise. Yes, it has to rise for another hour to an hour and a half. So let's cover it back up.
A few moments later.
Pop these in, rack, that. All right, so while our cinnamon buns is in the oven, we're gonna start on the cream cheese glaze. So in this pan, I have 4 ounces of cream cheese. I use the Philadelphia original one. So 4 ounces of that. And then I have 1/4 cup of melted butter. So you're just gonna pour that in. A half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And remember, real vanilla, not imitation vanilla. You guys see. And then you want to do just like a little pinch, see, a little pinch of salt. About 3 tablespoons of whole milk. And then you want 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and I used this one. So you just dump all that in. So that's how I like mine. I don't like runny icing, but if you wanted yours a little bit more watery, you could add 1 more tablespoon of milk. But I like mine like this. So we're just gonna set this aside and cover it up until the cinnamon buns come out the oven, and I'll show you guys the final step. Alright.
Alright, nice one, good up.
Don't it? See, at this point, your house should be smelling bomb, okay? So you take it out the oven after 20 minutes, and you want to put your icing on it right away. Get some icing from the bowl. Ooh, this is my favorite part. And you just start smearing it on. Oh, chair. Okay, so at this point, this is how you want your cinnamon buns to look. Iced and yummy.